Charles sent me a tweet on Twitter there about Russian President Vladimir Putin speaking at the parade in St. Petersburg today. And in that address that he made there, he talked about a couple of things that I thought was very interesting. He spoke about how that Russia, for one, speaking about the incident that happened between Russia and Britain a couple of weeks back, that they could have sunk the ship and would have wouldn't have been a problem. It would have not have started World War III. He also went in a little bit deeper and he said that the Russian military knows where every plane and where every ship and where every underwater submarine is in the world, and at any given time. I thought that was interesting because a lot of people do not know, and some people might actually look at that and think to themselves, well, that's a little absurd. Nobody really knows that. You'll see articles that come out in different news media outlets, like saying that, well, the Russian submarine, for example, disappeared in the Mediterranean. That happened a couple of months ago, and nobody knew where it was. Or recently, we had another. Videos that were surfacing on social media about Russian submarine disappears off of the coast of the Atlantic, and no one knew where it was. That's actually not true. But it is true, though, that Russia, as well as the United States, have the technology, and it's actually a technology that was invented by Tesla, that was expounded upon, that gives them the ability to know where any ship, submarine is whatsoever, whether it's underwater, above water, etc. They're able to track it. Even extraterrestrial craft, they can track extraterrestrial craft that's underwater as well. A little harder because it does move faster than what typical submarines move, but they're able to detect it. So I thought it was kind of interesting, and that's one of the reasons why I wanted to bring this up on just a little short news clip there, because of his claim there, and his claim is true. It's very true. They do have that technology, and it has been confirmed to me before that yes, Russia does possess the same technology that the U.S. has on that particular issue. Another thing that he said I thought was a very much of an interest is he said that in the next World War, Russia will not lose. And well, he's correct on that that as well, mainly because it is the elite that control the narrative. They are the ones that are controlling all these global leaders. He might have went ahead and added that he would not be the president of Russia at the time that that war begins, because they also know who's going to be in power at the time. And this is one reason why they moved Rouhani out of power in Iran, and they put in Raisi in his place there, because he is supposed to be the leader that is in power when Iran, along with Russia and China, all coincide their attacks against the United States. The United States, unfortunately, my friends, as much as we love this country, is they have planned to bring this nation down. In fact, Biden, that's why he is in the presidential seat right now. They plan to bring it down. Unless we might find a little sneak surprise in there where Kamala decides to declare the 25th Amendment and say Biden is unfit for office and try to remove him. I need to ask about that one. That seems kind of plausible, given some of the things that are coming out, especially the doctor that just came out recently saying that Biden, well, he actually said was unfit for office and the 25th Amendment should be declared upon him. But then again, is Kamala Harris even able to be president of the United States? I mean, I know she would be, technically speaking, but again, all the actors that are going to change hands here over the next few years are all put in position for what's coming, for a global agenda, for a global war. And unfortunately, we're going to catch the brunt of it here in the United States. This time, the war is coming to our own shores. So we need to be prayed up and ready to go. I am doing a message this later tonight. It's going to be Christ in the temple. And I think it'll be a blessing for many of you. It'll probably first be posted on Danoon Institute, our YouTube channel there, because of being just a more of more of a simple biblical teaching, but I think very interesting. You might find some of the concepts interesting in this message there. Um, but anyway, hopefully you'll catch that later tonight. I don't know, probably closer to midnight or 11 o'clock, something like that, before I'm able to actually post it up. I was studying on that earlier this morning, and hope it will be a blessing for many of you that listen into our broadcast. We will end up putting it on iConnectFX.com as well, where it'll attach to Israeli News Live here on this channel here. So you can either follow the clip, or you can go to Dunya Institute YouTube, either way, and pick up the broadcast there. Anyway, God bless you. Let me make sure that you guys aren't telling me there's no audio, because sometimes you see all these things going on, and the next thing you know, it's like, Steve, there's no audio. So anyway, yeah, and by the way, too, and one other thing I'll mention as well, because I don't always look at comments, but occasionally I will try to check comments out just to see what's on people's minds. One sister had put out there, and that she said, well, Steve, you use this scripture out of Matthew where Jesus called the Pharisees, generation of serpents, vipers, etc., things like that. And it was compared to be as like an obscure scripture that's being taken out of context. That there was no really biblical proof of Nephilim or things of that nature, even though I can't tell you how many times I've shared with you from the Hebrew text the word Nephilim used over and over and over within the scriptures. But I decided to go deeper into this from a biblical standpoint, especially in light of the fact that it's not just allegoric. Because, I mean, think about it. You have the serpent in the garden. Was that allegoric? Serpent that could talk? Was that allegoric? No, I don't think so. In fact, when I did the message the other day, I actually used from the biblical scroll context of the Dead Sea Scrolls, where Amram, a writing of Moses' own father, describes in detail the angel that is trying to rule over, that wants to rule over him, and he is clearly looks just like a serpent. Was that allegoric? I don't think so. You have Leviathan in the book of Job, but you would probably be shocked to know just how many more places, especially in the Dead Sea Scrolls, that these things are written about. And the mingling of the seed as well, where they mix their seed, and that was the unforgivable acts that they did, mingling the seed with the Nephilim races. So yeah, there is more out there that would prove these things, and I look at this as fallen angels, not as, the way some people do. I mean, granted, you're dealing with what in modern times they call extraterrestrial, but in reality, it is fallen angels, regardless of what form they take on. It doesn't seem to matter. And also, a lot of the things that I know about lines up with things that are scripturally written about these things as well, or found in the Dead Sea Scrolls, places like that. Anyway, so I hope to kind of put that together later this week, share that with you. Just, take a deeper look at it. And I don't say you have to believe the way I believe or anything like that. It's just my desire is to help people to have their eyes opened on what's going on, especially in light of the fact of some of the crazy things that the state of Israel is doing. I know people in intelligence over there, they'll tell you straight up they work with these fallen angels. Straight up. They don't make any bones about it. So what do you do with all that? Knowing that they're wanting to bring the cube from Mecca and put it in the third temple? I mean, really? This is what somebody would support, building of the third temple? That's another reason why I want to talk about Christ in the temple, is because of the evils that they plan when it comes to building this third temple. And then knowing, what did Jesus do when he was in the temple? And remember, you are his temple. So maybe it's time for us to pay a little closer attention to what he did, and then apply that to him within us. And then we'll have a better idea of what we should be doing. Anyway, blessings to all of you. Thank you for listening. And we'll talk again later this evening.